Salute to all the real ones out there. It's your boy Mike coming at you again with another video. Yo, y'all like the content I've been dropping, the direction that my channel was headed in? I need you to like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos with anybody else you think may benefit from them, alright? Now, today's topic is going to be called Destroy and Rebuild. Destroy and Rebuild. Alright, and I liken this classic mantra to the term cost-benefit analysis. Sometimes it's necessary for all of us to take inventory of where we are in our lives and develop a course of action for a better outcome. So if y'all never heard about cost-benefit analysis, this is something I learned when I was at the German university. I think it was in my cost accounting or one of my financial management classes. Basically, think about it. You know, you have a cost and then you have the benefit ratio. So this is basically sizing up whatever a person is about to do and seeing if the benefit outweighs the cost. Another way of looking at this would be opportunity cost, which I talked about in other videos. Basically, you can't get the benefit from something that you're not doing once you make a decision to do something else. So case in point, I decided to go to the gym for 2 hours and I'm gonna do yoga. The opportunity cost is that during that 2 hours, there's no way that I could have lifted weights or did anything else, because once I made the decision to do yoga, the other things are foregone. Basically, they're lost with time. Whatever you dedicate your time and focus on will manifest. Whatever you don't do is lost. You know, I decide I'm gonna spend the next 2 hours cleaning my house. That means that's 2 hours where I'm not going out in the city and shopping and getting things for the house. There's no way that you can do two things at once in this way, right? So when we think about cost benefit analysis, it goes straight along with destroy and rebuild, because sometimes there are things in our lives that we need to analyze. Hey, am I getting more pluses out of this situation or more negatives? Oh, more negatives? I need to destroy that aspect of my life and I need to rebuild where whatever I decide to do from this point forward results in me getting more positives than negatives out of the situation. So, you know, I drew up a couple of examples, but like, let's take activities. I know one thing that we're all kind of guilty of, and I would say this has increased tenfold since the implementation of smartphones and also social media, is drifting. All right, drifting. So of course you have Napoleon Hill. I never read this book, but I have heard parts of the audio book, which is called Interview with the Devil. And the quintessential devil, of course, if you're thinking about it, there's a spiritual warfare that's going on at all times, and it trumps the flesh. So all of us are being tempted by the devil to drift away from our higher purpose, away from things that are more positive or productive. And the goal for the devil is to get us to be aimless, to flow with our lower nature opposed to our higher nature. So what's the other aspect of that? If I'm drifting with a lot of the activities that I do, productivity, right? Because if I'm not being productive, then that means I'm not actually going for my higher self. So you basically have higher self versus lower self. And I see that that's something that is necessary for me quite often to destroy or rebuild based on what I'm seeing in terms of positives, right? Drifting. I've never really gained anything from drifting. You know, just wasting time throughout the day. I wake up at, let's say I sleep in, I wake up at 1:30 in the afternoon. Already I'm behind as far as my day is concerned, right? Most people who are being productive or whatever, or have some type of focus for the day, they're already up, out, and achieving whatever they want. Meanwhile, I'm off to a slow start, rubbing sleep out of my eyes, so I'm already behind. Then just take, you know, the decision, oh, I'm just gonna chill and post up and watch Netflix. Okay, I'm not gaining anything from watching Netflix. It's not like I walk away smarter or closer to my long-term goals. All I did was just delete however long I was watching Netflix. That time is now deleted out of my day and I can never get it back. So the devil wins again. Now, Another thing that's important to destroy or rebuild might be your social network. Okay? You're the sum total of the people you spend the most time with. That's just a fact. It's just a fact. How are you going to be in shape when all you do is hang around people who are out of shape? And even if you are in shape, but you're hanging around those people, there's a high chance that their influence will keep you from reaching your physical peak. Many people will come into your life for a temporary purpose. Once that purpose is fulfilled, they need to exit your life, and it needs to be a streamlined process. Like I said, the contracting experience for myself, I met countless people, but we were only in touch due to the matching situation of, let's say this guy, he came to do contracting for whatever reasons, then I came to do contracting for whatever reasons, but we're in the same place where we're fulfilling our objectives individually. And now that that chapter is closed, it's closed, and we're supposed to go on to the next, right? When you think about the people who but over time y'all grew apart from each other, this is a natural progression of things. The same people that you hung around when you were in high school are not going to be the same people that you maybe identify with as an adult. It's natural. It's a part of maturing and growing and headed in the direction that's been carved out for you. All right, another thing when it comes down to the destroy or rebuild aspect of social network, just because you decide that you're going to go west and maybe the group that you were hanging with is going east, my thinking is it doesn't have to involve animosity. Y'all are just headed in different directions. So a lot of people, I think, have trouble with this aspect. They tend to like downplay or throw negative or throw shade at the people that they were cool with because they're growing apart. And it's like, no, it can be seamless. Why do you have to have beef that y'all don't talk anymore? It could just be that honestly y'all don't identify with the same interests or priorities in life, and it's totally fine for them to go east and you to go west or whatever. All right. Also, by destroying or rebuilding your network, you might be able to connect more with like-minded people and those individuals who have the same interests, or at least similar, right? Think about some of your key relationships. Maybe a woman you've been dating for the last years, or maybe your father, your mother, an older brother, whoever you want to name. You still need to do the same analysis on whether it's smart to destroy or rebuild with this relationship. Because the main question is this relationship providing you with positive feedback? Is it aiding you, boosting you up? Or is it holding you back and pushing you down? Is it harmonious or is it toxic? Are you better when you're with this person? Are you better when you're alone? You see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, take it back to what I was just saying when, it's people but y'all just grow apart. Okay, well, maybe there was a lesson that you are already supposed to learn from your interaction with said person. Another aspect of life that might be important to destroy or rebuild is your world view. All right. What I peep on my journey, traveling, living in Germany for the last 12 years, what it helped me understand is that, dude, there are so many other races and cultures, and the minute you have an open mind and decide that you're willing to accept what you see in front of you and try to understand it versus sticking with what you think or what you've been told or from an ignorant perspective, right? What I've learned is that you will grow so much as a person because you will be around different people who can show you what they find important and why and their history and this and that. And all you're doing is becoming a more broad-minded person. All right. International travel also will help you to destroy or rebuild your worldview. Let's say you're just a typical American. You never really been outside of the continental United States, right? you hear Middle East and you immediately think about the propaganda. You immediately think of terrorism, 9/11, you know, and whatever has been just basically bombing your psyche from the mass media. Then let's say you get an opportunity to fly to Dubai for business. You have your whole mind made up about how it's supposed to be. Then you get to Dubai and let's say you actually like it. It's a really nice country, you know, it's built up, it's all set up for luxury. And maybe you bump into a bunch of different people from the Middle East that all speak English and take you out to eat, kick it with you, show you some of the hot spots. And now you're back in America again. Like, how could your worldview remain the same? It had to be destroyed and rebuilt in some ways just from that travel to Dubai. All right. And then bringing it on to the last part of things that you may need to destroy or rebuild, all right? And I consider this to be the mirror perspective. Basically just yourself. Taking an ice cold, hard look at your own self in the mirror and just thinking about, are there childhood scars that I have that in my subconscious are still affecting the way that I maneuver in the world? You know what I mean? Like, you might have to look at the way you were raised, at certain things that your parents did or didn't do. And you might need to just be honest with yourself and say, hey, man, I was messed up how this happened. And I need to, as an adult, do the work to correct whatever happened to me as a kid. Because if I don't, I'm basically just the same kid who just grew into an adult body. The kid part of you still remains dormant, you know what I mean? But it might be active in certain ways that are hurting you. You know, if your mom always told you that you weren't smart, you might avoid anything that might show that you're smart subconsciously because you feel like you're not smart enough, even though you could be a genius in your own right. You know, did your dad beat on you? Was your mom, you know, domineering? Like certain things like this, you need to actually ask yourself and be honest. And once you get to that point where you see a transparency, you got to decide whether you want to destroy and rebuild. And that's parts of your own character. Very important point that I'm making right here. All right, expectations from others. That's another thing you might need to destroy and rebuild in your psyche. And last but not least, something very, very important that all of us will have to do throughout our entire lives. You gotta face and slay your own personal demons, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's something you definitely gotta destroy and rebuild. You gotta destroy those demons that are always trying to bring you down. And you gotta rebuild yourself. You know, so this video was pretty much a straight shot. You know what I mean? It's self-explanatory. I don't want to make it too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and conclude here. But yeah, you know what I mean? These are just my thoughts about destroy and rebuild. Classic age-old mantra that still has relevance in current and forever times. You know what I mean? So like, comment, subscribe. I'll holler at you on the next one.